Hello everybody, Gail here. It's been 3 weeks since my last video. I've not been well. In fact, I think there's been an awful lot going on. First of all, before I start telling you all about that, I might wander off to talk about it. I'm going to show you these that I'm making. These are Drunkard's path blocks. Now, I was making them with white as well, tone on tone whites, but I decided I didn't like them. So I've broken into two 12-inch blocks, layer cakes, 10-inch blocks, and mixed all the colours up together, and got a few out of my stash as well that I came across. And I'm busy making all these. I don't know when I'm going to stop. They're I think they're 4.5 inches square when I've finished. I'll have to work out. But at the moment, this is what I'm doing when I'm watching the telly. So I've cut out a 5-inch fat piece and a 6-inch corner thing. And this is how we put them together. So we fold them in half on the best side out and mark the little place where the fold is with a finger crease. And then we fold the base part in half as well, and we mark where that is. And we're going to line up those creases. Let's see, it's there. Face to face, so right sides together. We line up those two creases and put a pin in. I'm not going to take very long doing this. Then we get this corner here and we want to attach it to that corner there, which, you know, isn't the easiest thing to do. And I'm doing it backwards here so that you can see. I'm not very well at the moment. My husband isn't either. We've been, you know, you shouldn't be ill together because there's no one to look after you. We've been ill for over a week now with this awful, I don't know what, virus, flu. I've been coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing and feeling absolutely rotten. But today I have got up and got dressed, tried to make myself look presentable to do a video because I needed to get out the house with him being in there driving me mad. And it's been so long and I've got so much to say. So you pin the two ends in line with the two corners, and now we're going to pin in between two pins on each side. So I stretch them. I stretch the curve so that they match. Pinch it with my fingers and pin. So that's one side done. So I'll do it again on the other side. Line them up. Stretch them so that they more or less in line. I'm a very more or less person. And pin. So I've got 5 pins in there now. I'll show you on this. No, not that one. Let's find one with a bit of contrast. None of them. Okay. That's going to have red, so it is a bit of contrast, but the backs aren't really. So you've got one at each end, one in the middle, and you've got pins either side. So then you can do it on the machine if you want, but I've been ill, so I've just been sat in there doing it. I pin together about 5 or 6 at once, and then I sew for 5 or 6 worth of, you know, doing some sewing. I've not been doing it very much this past week because I've had so much to worry about, or on my mind rather than worrying. So that's a needle in the end of my thread, and I just sew them. I just sew along. So while I'm sewing this, I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I mentioned it last time that my grandson was ill, my eldest grandson. He's been very poorly. He's been to the hospital, he's been to the doctors, and they think it could be tonsillitis, it could be mumps, could be glandular fever, or it could be scarlet fever. They don't know. They've tested for mumps, but I think we've still got a few days left yet. It takes 3 weeks to get the results back. The other things that they think he might have had require a blood test, and they decided, my daughter and the doctors, that he was too ill to make him put up with the blood test, because he's only little. Well, he's 5. He's coming up for 6. So they, I mean, had he been iller, I suppose they would have just done a blood test regardless, and he wouldn't have noticed because he'd been so ill. But personally, you know, I've never seen a child that ill. He was so poorly, he couldn't stay awake. His head kept nodding off. He's not eaten anything for weeks. He's gone so thin, he really is like a skelly bone. He's a lot better now, but he's not himself. I mean, I had glandular fever when I was a teenager. It takes months to get over. Anyway, he's on the mend now. His appetite, still tiny, but at least he's got a bit of one. And luckily it's the school holidays, so he doesn't have to get up in the morning if he doesn't want to. What am I saying? Little children get up at 5 o'clock, don't they? Anyway, he's been really poorly, so we've been very worried about him. But now he's on the mend. Although he's still very tired. When he comes round, he likes to snuggle up. My daughter, my grandson's mum, she was ill as well. She got like a very bad cold. And she won't stay off work, you know. She goes in no matter what. When she was at secondary school, she got 100% attendance. She just carries on, you know, no matter how ill she is. Anyway, we think we caught it off her, me and my husband. So I got it first. He started feeling ill the day after. I mean, it could be COVID. We've not done any tests. But I think, if I was right, I started coughing about 8 or 9 days ago. That was the first symptom. I've been so poorly. I've got hot lemon here to drink. Anyway, so we've been stuck at home. We've hardly eaten anything because neither of us felt like cooking. We've had toast mostly for the past week. I think I've made tea the last 2 evenings. And you're very, very fortunate because I've sewn that now. I've got dressed to come in here. So I take my pins out. And fold it back and finger press. And there we have a Drunkard's path block. Now I've not decided how I'm going to put it together, but I think I might go for you know, putting it together so there's a circle in the middle. We'll have to see. Shall we do it on there? It might stick to my top. I'm covered in you know, the zigzag bits off cutting up. Let's find something that's a bit of a different colour there. No, I can't do that one. Let's try that one. Anyway, I've got an awful lot. I might do it like that. We'll have to see. So that's what I'm doing. I'm busy doing Drunkard's path. There's a million different ways you can lay out your blocks. And, you know, I'm not in the mood for it at the moment. So I've not decided. I've not been looking or anything. In fact, I've been looking for Christmas panels because I'm allowed to make my granddaughter a Christmas quilt. Just can't find one though that I like. Anyway, I suppose it might be a bit early. It's only just August, isn't it? So I'll keep a lookout. So that's what I've been doing anyway. I've not done anything else. Not even changed the quilt behind me. So my grandson's been ill, then and my daughter, and then we got ill. And last week, my daughter, who lives far away, had an accident in the home involving boiling water. I happened to be on the phone to her at the time. We were in a video conversation, and she was making a jug of tea to put in the fridge. And I keep saying it's mimosa tea, but it wasn't mimosa, it was something else. It might come to me. Anyway, she was pouring the boiling water in this jug, as she does, and she was going to put it in the fridge and drink it when it was cold. But the jug fell to pieces. Well, she's not sure what it did. She thinks it might have cracked and then fell to pieces. It didn't explode, although she did ask me if I heard the noise. I didn't hear anything. I just was chatting away, and suddenly, like a gazelle, she had leapt far away from the camera. She must have leapt 6 foot. And I didn't know why. And I'm watching, you know. She's whipping her trousers off. Well, they weren't trousers, they were leggings. She was whipping them off. And then I saw the water. And my grandson, who was stood at the counter, he saw the water as well. And he didn't want it to go onto his Play-Doh, and he put his hands in it. And then, of course, he lifted his hands out and started screaming. And my daughter said, "You're all right, you're all right. It's me that's not." And I thought, I shouted to her, "Cold shower! Get a cold shower!" So she scooped up my little grandson, my youngest, who's 18 months, in between 18 months and 2. And grabbed her phone and ran off. And as she's running, she's saying to me, "I'm going in the shower now. We're all right, don't worry." And I said, "Okay, bye," you know. And I was very good. Told my other daughter what had happened. I mean, I was traumatised. I watched this. Although she said she was fine. Anyway, I waited 2 hours before I texted her. And, "Are you okay? How's it going?" You know. And she said, "We're fine. I've tidied up all the glass. Don't worry." And I thought, right, okay. Although I was a bit worried because I did hear her say that she wasn't okay. But, you know, this is the daughter who had a baby without telling me. She just phoned me up once he was born. And there he was, still attached. Anyway, it is the best way for your daughters to have children, I think. Not tell the mother. Anyway, 7 o'clock the next morning, I get a video call, her and her husband. And she shows me her bandaged legs. So what had really happened was she'd gone and got in the bath. She'd taken all my grandson's clothes off, and he was fine. He obviously only put, because I was saying to her, he put palms of his hand in the water. It must have been so momentarial that it didn't burn him, because they weren't even red. Or maybe it cooled down by the time it got to him. I don't know. Anyway, so he's running around with nothing on. Well, apparently he had his nappy on. And she was in the bath of cold water, and she phoned her husband. I phoned her husband as well. I sent him a text saying, "Do you want to go and see if Leonie needs any help?" Oh, I shouldn't have said her name, should I? Anyway, he went straight home, and she called the ambulance while he was driving. They showed me his car. It was all part squiffy, half on the pavement and half on the road, you know, not straight and neat at all. And he'd run in, and she'd called the ambulance, and they'd said, you know, swish the water around, don't just sit there, swish it so that it takes the heat out. So after half an hour, 40 minutes, her husband phoned the ambulance again and said, you know, "Are you on your way? Because, you know, she's been in the bath all this time with this cold water, and all the skin's coming off." And anyway, they arrived very quickly after that, and the ambulance men were very annoyed because they'd been told, or it was written down on the records, that she'd spilt a cup of tea, when in fact it was pints, and she was still pouring out the kettle. Anyway, so she'd been in the bath for so long that they were very worried about her having hypothermia. Her temperature was so low, they couldn't get any access to veins. They made her get a changed, so her clothes that had got wet while she was in there, a top half, they made her take everything off and put dry clothes on, and then they wrapped her top half up in the quilt while they dealt with her burns. And she said they wrapped her up in cling film, and then they decided that they would put on these dressings they had. And so they took the cling film off, and they put on aloe vera and tea tree oil dressings. She said it was marvellous. The pain just went. So I'm grateful for that. Anyway, they got an IV into her and they decided to take her to A&E rather than the specialist burns unit because she was so cold. So they looked after her there. Cut all the skin off. It's all down both thighs and past her knees, down her calves. So she told me all this in the morning. Because she knows what I like when I'm worried. You see, the thing is, all sorts of ideas jump into my mind when I don't know. You know, when no one tells you what's happening and you start conjuring up all sorts of awful imaginings. Oh, that is lovely. It's hot lemon. Anyway, she's been going to the hospital regularly. Her in-laws, her husband's mum and dad have taken turns to go down and look after the little boy because we were too ill and apparently we're too incapable anyway. His mum and dad are very fit. We're not. Anyway, they've been going down there and helping her with him because she couldn't really have anything. She can't run around after him because her legs are not working very well. She's been in a lot of pain all week. She couldn't take the codeine they gave her because she's still breastfeeding. Anyway, she had a last visit to the hospital yesterday and it's all looking a lot better. So that's been a worry. And I'm still ill. Anyway, I'll tell you what's come today. I've had a delivery today. First of all, this. Another batik jelly rolls. I think I'm going to actually sew these together. You know, like a jelly roll quilt. I've seen something on the internet that was really good. I was really impressed. And they sewed 4 strips together, and I think that came to 8 inches. So they cut them all 8 inches square, the stripes, and then they cut a strip diagonally out the middle, I think, and swapped all the strips amongst the cut in half squares. Anyway, I'm going to have a go at that and you'll see it then. I've got here, maybe I've not, oh yeah, here we are. I've got the remainder of the fabric I was using. Can't remember what it is. I know one of them was chocolate. They're both Moders. I can't remember what the other one's called. Anyway, I've got the cards somewhere, just not here. Here's some of the fabric I found to go with it because there wasn't enough pink, I didn't think, in it. I've got a big pile of rejects as well. Here's some more fabric I found to put in it, and some greens and browns to add to it. And these are the fabrics I rejected. I didn't like these. They were too bland. I wanted, you know, differences, and these are all cream type ones. But I wanted more contrast than these facilitated, so I took them out, and that's why I mixed 2. I mean, you know, I have got about 40 layer cakes, so I've got plenty to go out. Anyway, today I got these fabrics from the new William Morris range by Moda. I've just got 3. I thought that was lovely. So I got a yard of each, so, or a metre, whatever. So I didn't want to miss out on that. I've no idea what I'm going to use it, but I thought that was lovely, so I bought that. And I bought these 2 dark ones. Now, I'm sure you've heard me say that I don't like black, especially not in the bedroom. But I'm getting quite a lot of black now, you know, in these. So I've decided I'm going to do something with black things. I might just have squares, you know, like 10-inch squares all sewn together of various black colours. I don't know. But anyway, I bought these because I thought these were lovely. Is that upside down? No? Yes? Can't tell. Anyway, it's a lovely pattern, isn't it? They're in all sorts of colours, but I just bought those blacks and that green because I thought they were lovely. A long time ago, maybe a year or 18 months ago, I bought a Flower Fairy panel for my granddaughter, of course, for when she was older. And I think it's a Christmas panel. I think it's like a holly fairy. Anyway, I bought all this to go with it. This was off my destash group. I think I've got 2 meters of this. That's lovely, isn't it? So that'll be something I'll be doing for her in the upcoming few weeks, months, years even, years. I got this off my destash group as well, which is, you know, foundation fabric. Someone was selling this on the destash, so I bought it. And it's to make New York Beauty, I think, is it? Yeah. So that's what it's supposed to look like in the end. And I'm going to get my head round this. So it's like Drunkard's Path, kind of. But you have an outer bit as well. And the middle bit is all zigzaggy. So she had a meter go in that she didn't want, so I bought that. And then I bought some, again from a destash group, in the past 3 weeks. I bought some dinosaur fabric. I thought I would make something for my grandson. As you know, he's well into dinosaurs. So I don't know how many panels there are on here. 9, are there? Of lots of dinosaurs. Kind of a bit realistic and some a bit not realistic. I don't want to, well, I don't think you could scare him with a dinosaur, actually. Anyway, that's Dan Morris from many years ago, and I happened to find some coordinating fabrics on eBay. So I bought them as well. Ooh. Be better if I folded them in half, wouldn't it? I'll arrange them nicely for you. So there's blue, orange, and yellow, and a couple of blacks. So there they are to go with that. So that's what I've been buying. Oh, I've not finished. I bought this. This is I don't know how much it is. It's about 5 meters, I think. Because when I see creams and whites going cheap, I buy them. And really, I like these sorts, you know, that are self-patterned, kind of. Subtle, not completely stark. I'm not too keen on stark. This is stark. And we have here all the bits that I was going to do my Drunkard's Path with. In fact, I did do some and I unpicked them all. Anyway, I bought this. I think there's about 5 meters. That's quite nice, isn't it? I like that. That's Moda. And it's an end of roll. And I did give other people a chance to buy it. You know, I didn't just snap it up immediately. And then, oh, I've got these, forgot about these. Now, my quilting group, Davian Quilters, are having an exhibition in September, and we like to make things for sale. So I'm going to make some placemats. I've ordered some fabric that's not come yet, and some soup cozy bowls. So I've ordered these fat quarters for the soup cozy bowls, and hopefully I will eventually feel well enough to start making them. It's quite a new range, that. You've probably seen that in the shops. In England, anyway. Probably old in America. But I thought they'd make nice soup cozy bowls so that, you know, you don't have to worry about the bowl being too hot when you take it from the cooker to the table or the TV. And I bought these as well from my destash group because the dinosaurs. And I thought they were quite interesting dinosaurs. They're like, more realistic, aren't they? And you know, I like to mix things. So we've got those, and we've got these with the names on, and we've got these ones have the time periods, you know, like Jurassic and Triassic, Mesos something, I don't know. Anyway, I got those 4 fat quarters to tie in with my not dragons, they're not dragons, are they? Dinosaurs. So I got them. And then pride of place, I got another layer cake. The latest layer cake from Robin Pickens. You're going to be surprised. Because you all know I don't like orange. But these particular oranges, they're called Forest Frolic. I think they've got a lovely amount of red in these particular oranges. So I'm not too repulsed by them. I like red. So surprisingly, I don't think this has ever happened before. I've got 2 of the front picture. And then a cream, that's a thatched. We've got little birdies. Sunflowers. Wait till you get to the reds. These are all the creams. I know that's orange. We have orange. Orange with reds in. Reminds me of when I used to go to college. I had a particular, it was a coral coloured skirt, and I used to wear a red jumper with it. And I was very aware it was, you know, not something people did. Look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? There's some lovely colour combinations in here. Reds and oranges. And that's why I bought it. Because of the redness. I think I might buy some thatched to match, actually. And it goes to browns. It goes through these kind of mustardy colours. You see, that's a colour I like as well, mustard. And then we get to the browns. Now they're gorgeous as well, aren't they? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm sat here telling you this is gorgeous. And I'm thinking to myself, my daughters are gorgeous as well. My younger one, who's burnt her legs, he's not bothered in the slightest about scarring. I brought them both up very well. Neither of them are at all fazed by having scars. In fact, neither of them are at all fazed by anything really. Oh, I've got something else to show you as well. I don't know how on earth I've forgotten. Well, first of all, I'll show you what I've done so far with my granddaughter's birthday present that I've been making. This is the panel. Well, I won't show you the panel because it's cut up. This is what the panel turns into, and it has little magnets that you put in the hands and the baby's bottle, and then she holds her own bottle. You see, they're in here. The magnets. It's French. This. It's all written in French. So they've got very good instructions. There they are. So I've got to that one. So I've done the nappy. It's got a shaped back for a bottom. I need to put on the Velcro there because I discovered when I made these I didn't have any Velcro. I had to buy some. So I've not put the Velcro on. That's the nappy. And this is the little dress there that she wears. And that's all Velcroed down the back. That's the back. So I've cut out the head pieces. And when I feel well enough, I shall sew them. And then I'll have to get to grips with the rest of the body. So there's her face. Quite big, isn't she? I didn't realise she was this big until I started to cut her out. So this is the side of her head. which meet up to form the back of her head. And then she's got bobbles, well, little, you know, hair that sticks out. And she's got little earpieces as well. Here, there you go, down here. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing her for her birthday. And I'm buying her a little pram. It's, you know, it's a little plastic push around pram, but nothing too posh, really. It's very much the same as the little plastic pram that my daughters had when they were little. You leave it in the garden, you know, made out of plastic. It's waterproof, you have to worry about it. So I started doing these before I got ill, and before I had all my worries. I've got a lot to worry about. And because my husband was off for so long last year on the sick with his brain trauma and his stroke, now that he's off again, he's on half pay. Not that I'm particularly worried. I'll sell a few layer cakes, couldn't I, if it came to it. Anyway, I have told you that I have crocheted and made lots of things for my grandson. Because, you know, he's been around about 6 years, much longer than the two little ones. And he asked me to make him an octopus. So I did, I crocheted it. And he's dug it out and let me borrow it to show you. So here it is. It's lovely, isn't it? I did him a nice smiley face, that's his head. And then these things, you see, when I was sewing, doing all these bobbles, and then I had to sew them all together and they met in the middle. As I was trying to do it, I had these round my neck, on my head, oof, everywhere. It was really tricky getting all them legs on. But yeah, there he is with his, quite good, aren't they? And you know, that's not how the pattern told me to do it, because I lost track of the pattern. I mean, the patterns for the legs were the same. I just had to do it 8 times. But I don't think any of them, I don't think any of them have got the same pattern of these things on the bottom, because they went wrong. Although I couldn't tell you how they went wrong. And I just had to kind of make it up as I went. So, yeah, that's his octopus. So I'm going to drink this a bit more because I don't want it to go cold. It's not as good, is it, when it goes cold? It's very soothing for your throat, though. I had no voice at all one day last week. Oh, that's so nice. Anyway, I don't think I've got anything else to tell you. I am very jealous of all the people that are going to see Festival of Quilts this week. I think it's, what day are we today? Wednesday. I think it opens tomorrow. I used to always go, you know, when I was in my 30s and 40s. And then I had a phase of being too busy working to do much sewing. And I didn't go then because I needed my weekends to kind of flake out and get some energy for the next week. And then when I stopped working, of course, I started doing all my sewing again. Well, I started wanting to, but I couldn't actually find the fabric and all my bits and bobs because they were all over the house. And when everybody went to bed, I couldn't really go rooting for them, could I? Because it was too noisy. So I got my shed and found everything and brought it all out here. Which is still annoying, really, because I can't really come out in the night. It's, you know, dark and scary. We plan on getting higher fences and things, making it a bit more secure, but we've been planning that for years. Anyway, can't remember what I was saying now. God, my memory's gone. Everything's gone, really. Oh, so we're buying her a little pushchair, and it's got a little triangular hood that you can put either way, so that the baby's looking at you or looking where you're going. And I'll see if I can make her a few more clothes. Although I don't know if she's old enough yet to change clothes. You never know. And I'm going to crochet her a little blanket and make her a little, like, Moses basket. So she can carry her around in the Moses basket in between putting her in and out the pram, I suppose. Anyway, that's what I'm doing for her birthday, which is in September. So I've got to do it this month at least. It's late September, so I've probably got, what, 6 weeks or whatever. Plenty of time. Anyway, that's what's been going on. I've been poorly. I've had worries about my grandson. I've had worries about my daughter. And, you know, I mean, she's doing fine. It's not infected. Now she's doing the dressing changes on her own. She's allowed to have a shower at the weekend. They just want her to send photographs every time she changes the dressing so that they can keep their eye on it. And there is the possibility of seeing physiotherapists and scar management people, depending on how the scars turn out. It's quite, you know, quite an expanse of her legs. It's only the front of her leg. The front of each thigh is probably the full width of the front is burnt, and it gets thinner as it goes down her leg. And 2nd degree and 1st degree. It's funny because the 1st degree burns didn't blister so much as they were just red. You know, they were red. They're still red, probably. Anyway, yeah, no infections. She's doing all right. And it was, you know, I guess she says she feels like throwing the kettle out down the garden. It wasn't the kettle's fault, was it? These accidents happen. I mean, once, you know, many, many years ago, probably when my eldest was little, my husband worked as a contractor on building sites. He's an electrician. And he used to have a big flask that we filled with coffee. And in the bottom, or it might have been tea, I don't know. But in the bottom of the flask, there was a little bottle with a screw lid that he had his milk in. And he used to clean it out every weekend. Only this particular weekend, he left it in the car. So when he was getting ready for work, he brought it in and all the milk was nasty in the bottom. And he was washing it out and it wasn't washing out quick enough. So he held the bottle and poured boiling water in it. And the bottom of the little bottle came out completely. And the water went straight through. And one of our cats just happened to be walking underneath. Went straight on his head. So he was under the table with a steaming head. But he was bald after that. We took him to the vets, obviously, and they gave us burn creams and things. But we had to stop using that because the other cats would lick it off, put it on his head to make him better, and the other cats would go and lick it off. So anyway, it grew back fine, his skin and everything, but he had no hair up there. He was a baldy. You couldn't tell because of all his other fur going over it, but these things happen, don't they? Especially with boiling water. I mean, you know, I was reading the other day the instructions on a hot water bottle. I think it must have been one I got for Christmas, and I was just, must have been not the other day, in the coldness of winter. Anyway, the instructions were on it, and it said, do not fill with water from the kettle. And I'm thinking, yes, that's sensible. Do not fill with water from your hot tap. So what are you supposed to fill it with? Are you supposed to heat a pan up? It didn't say don't use a pan of water. It's no good putting water from your cold tap in it, is it? It's pretty stupid, really, wasn't it, those instructions? Anyway, I've worn red to try and make me look well. Don't think it's working very well. So anyway, I'm going to finish off my hot lemon and then go back in the house, I think, with my hand sewing that I brought out to show you. I don't think I'm going to stay here for much longer because I don't feel well, you know. And I've started getting eczema on my eyelids. Do you think that's worry? Do you think the worry has made me get eczema on my eyelids? My husband says, you're a bit agitated today, aren't you? I said, yes. I think, you know, when you're ill and you're too ill to care, you just go to sleep. And then you're getting better, but you're not well enough to do anything. I mean, just getting dressed, having a shower, getting dressed, completely knackers you out, doesn't it? And my throat and my cough and everything is much better, but it's not better. I felt better yesterday, actually. I think maybe I overdid it yesterday because I was feeling better. But yeah, I'm feeling well enough to do things, but I'm not actually well enough to do things. So yeah, I think I'm a bit agitated, which is an alternative word for, as my gran used to say, P.O. And I don't mean post office. Anyway, I hope this leaves you well. I'll be well next time I get on and do another one, hopefully. Anyway, bye.